Hey, how's it going? I've talked about before how in the beginning of this year, I think around April or March, I really tried to get consistent with doing YouTube. And I've done YouTube actually kind of for a long time, almost about 8 years now, if we're going back multiple different channels. And that's a sizable part of my life. That's almost half of my life. And throughout doing YouTube, I did gameplay stuff, I did, group channels, I've tried podcasts and series and role playing and plenty of cringy stuff that I've done over the years. But this year I really tried to be genuine and make really what I wanted to make. And when I look back on stuff I've done, the commentary aspect of my channel has always been my favorite because I've always really struggled with being creative. And I found that while this sort of content isn't necessarily creative, it allowed me to be creative in the sense that these opinions are my own, and what I'm talking about is only really going to come from me and how I experience life and the things that I'm talking about. And doing these videos has given me fulfillment in a way that I think I was really missing in previous years, as I have dropped a lot of my hobbies. I think work, school, social lives, keeping up certain relationships, family, really do drag people away from hobbies and things that I think they otherwise would be pretty passionate about. And for me, it really wasn't any different. I mentioned before I made a whole video about hobbies, but I really did get into drawing, and because of YouTube, I was really into video editing for a while. I've edited for friends, and I've done a lot of personal stuff on the side and for school that none of you guys will hopefully ever see. As you can see with the thumbnails, I really did try getting good at SFM because a lot of my friends did it. I remember, learning Photoshop, tons of hobbies I think that over the years I've started to abandon. Just because I think life gets busy and, after a long day at work or school or after studying or hanging out with people, I don't think a lot of people want to sit down and really focus on something else. They would rather just watch a show, play a game, talk to a friend, do things that maybe aren't so mentally taxing as I think hobbies can be sometimes. And I kept up with a lot of these hobbies because people around me did. I have friends that are really good at drawing. I have, friends that are really good at SFM and video editing and such. And a lot of them also fell out of it, but, I do still have a lot of people in my life that are, showing me, art that they're making and stuff. And I for a long time was like, man, I really want to get into this, but truth be told, I am tired a lot of the time. And also, I just don't enjoy a lot of these hobbies anymore. Drawing is a big one that I was doing for a really long time, and I think I got pretty decent at. I will every couple months upload a drawing at most, but it makes me just more so frustrated, and I really wasn't something I wanted to pursue, but I still felt that urge to work on stuff, make things I am proud of, because work and school, sure, you can find fulfillment in those things, but I think it's very rare that those are things that people really want to do. A lot of people are kind of just at their job to pay the bills. I think a lot of people are just going to school to get a job that eventually pays the bills. And I think a lot of people are missing that fulfillment that I think hobbies really do bring. And I found that through this channel, I got a sort of fulfillment that I wasn't getting at school or work. And it also seemingly was a culmination of a lot of the hobbies, or I don't know if I'd call them talents, but things that I've learned and that I'm passionate about, whether it be video editing and also playing video games and recording things I play. I, for some reason, just really like showing people my gameplay. I don't know why. I always stream my stuff in Discord and I make people watch and listen to what I'm playing. It's for some reason just something I really like doing. And I found that I was able to fulfill all those needs through this channel. So, around April or whenever, I really wanted to become consistent at it. And I found that it does fill a void that I was initially missing. I mentioned earlier, I think with work and with school, the two things that I think most people prioritize really only exist to fulfill a purpose, like paying the bills at the end of the day. And I think a lot of people give up on hobbies and stuff that I think give them a certain fulfillment. As I've talked to people about, well, I don't know what I want to do with my life. What if I don't get a job I like? I get the same answer over and over again, that your job isn't everything, and that it's what you do after work and stuff that I think gives a lot of people their fulfillment, their hobbies. A lot of people, it can be cars or putting together model kits, something like Legos, for example, or Gundam, or even just cars and planes. A lot of people find that sort of fulfillment from these other aspects in life, and I think it's something that a lot of people are missing. I do have people in my life that I think it sucks when I see them having to drop certain things because life becomes so demanding and because, they're tired all the time from whatever it may be that they got going on, that I think a lot of their talents are wasted. And I really wish people had more free time and more ability to work on things that they're actually passionate about. Because unfortunately, a lot of art and stuff doesn't really pay the bills, which sucks. I envy people that their passion is a transferable skill, whether it be, math or, if you love cars, you get to work as a mechanic and make good money doing that. And I think that with myself, there was almost like a spiraling effect, well, I'm really tired from work. I'm just going to get home and I'm going to watch a show. And then I would kind of do that over and over again for weeks until I realized I haven't really been doing anything. Sure, I'm paying my bills and everything is fiscally okay. Mentally, I feel like a drone. I'm not working towards anything. There's nothing that I am sitting down every day and I am caring about. I feel, like I said, almost like a drone. One thing I started doing this year was keeping up with media and games and movies and anime and shows that I was putting off for a long time. I made a whole list where I would log everything that I was finishing for the first time. For the first time I finished the whole Devil May Cry series. I watched Death Note, Evangelion, Samurai Champloo. I was just grinding through this stuff because it was something I was passionate about and I wanted to get through this barrier of procrastination that I put up. And that was a goal that I set for myself. That's a goal I think a lot of people would look at and say that's kind of meaningless, but I think it wasn't meaningless for me. I think you hear a lot about how it's unhealthy to have these larger than life goals that you work towards. These large goals that it takes forever to see any result on. I've heard people talk about time and time again and how it's important to have these smaller little stepping stones to work on. I'm sure I've even talked about before. I've forgotten what I've talked about, honestly, so far. But having these small little meaningless things has given me fulfillment that I think I was missing. I think you can kind of tie that meaningless goal mentality to your hobbies and stuff like that. Things that aren't super important, but that fulfill you in a way. I think the title of this video, when I initially thought of it, was Meaningless Hobbies, or Why Meaningless Hobbies Are Important, or something, pretentious like that. I think that I picked that because I think while these hobbies are meaningless in the sense where, yeah, it's not paying the bills, I think it matters a lot for the mental well-being of people to have something that you can really focus on and be passionate about and put your mind towards. But that also isn't, the end of the world. Sure, you can be passionate about your job and really focus on something like that. But at the end of the day, you're there because you have to pay your bills. But, something like this YouTube channel, if I don't upload, it's not the end of the world. But if I don't go to work, yeah, I'm going to have consequences for it. And I think that this is a very nice middle ground. I thought that this would be a good way to kind of cap off the year in a sort of retrospective but still meaningful way. I think I did a lot of things this year that I've been really trying to do, which is rare for me. I think a lot of people, such as myself, set up kind of these, New Year's resolutions or whatever, and never really stick to them. And while I didn't stick to a lot of them, one of the things I really did try and do was kind of be on a consistent schedule in a lot of ways. And one of those ways was uploading regularly on YouTube. And even though I missed a couple weeks here and there, I think I did a good job, and I'm really happy with how I did. I do plan on doing this into 2024, and hopefully if you're watching, you stick around for it, and if not, that's cool too. Thanks for watching this video. If you got this far, comment. I don't know. People never do it, but I always say it because I'm curious to see if anyone actually makes it to the end of these videos. My analytics say otherwise, but I'm sure there's somebody out there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, see you guys.